Well, hey everyone. What do you think are the financial basics of starting a business? Well, my guest today is Angela Perry, who shares a unique approach how journaling can actually help you understand the foundational knowledge behind building a business. I'm excited to bring this to you today. I'm Gail Bates, and welcome to my channel. This is where I share weekly interviews with entrepreneurs from around the world. This channel has become your go-to resource for learning on how to build a thriving business from home with ease, purpose, and clarity because of all the wonderful answers and information that you receive from all of these entrepreneurs from around the world. In my interviews, you'll find real talk and practical tips on work-life balance, accountability, and productivity. So make sure you hit that subscribe button for all of the upcoming videos, and don't forget to tap the notification bell so you never miss an episode. I love this interview with Angela because I'm a journaler and I journal every day myself. But Angela is someone who writes in her journal every single day for business as well as personal. She writes notes, she writes ideas, she writes reflections, she writes frustrations, you name it. So in this conversation, you're going to learn how she uses journaling to process challenges, manage emotions, and just keep herself grounded. It's so unique. I'm really excited for you to listen to this one because when things get tough, she takes a pause and she writes it down. This reminds herself that she's responsible for her own emotions. And this is something we could really all benefit from. Now, you'll also learn about Angela's creative networking idea, what she calls I Know a Person Rolodex. She uses it to connect people and offer help, and this builds lasting relationships. People remember her because she's always the one who knows someone. Don't you love that? And make sure you listen for her insights on the power of repetition in journaling, how writing things down over and over again helps your brain take action. And as Angela says, our brains aren't meant to hold everything. So journaling gives you like a snapshot of what's really going on in your mind. This is a powerful conversation with a wise and grounded entrepreneur. I know you're going to love it. It's lovely to meet you. I'm excited for you to share your wisdom with entrepreneurs who work from home. What does your typical day look like in your day? And how do you prioritize your tasks? And as an entrepreneur, Okay, tell us a little bit about that.
Oh, my goodness. So I've been in business for a while, over 14 years, going on 15 years with my husband. And in my daily routine, I've had so many. Like I've literally had, through the years of raising kids. But right now, my day in and day out is I start at about 5 o'clock. I get up. I try and get 2 hours of power hour in. I have 2 companies. So I kind of focus on the digital in the morning for about 2 hours. Then I go walk. So I do about 4 miles of walking. I come back, get the kids off to school, and then I come back and work on the service-based business. So, and that's the one where it's kind of ins and outs because we deal with e-bikes. It's e-bikes, batteries, and all the above. So I do that till about, give or take, answering the phone, doing XYZ for about 4 o'clock. And after 4, it's time for me to go into mommy mode. Right. Wash clothes, make sure dinner is ready. And then about 6, it depends on the day. I might go to the gym if it's Monday or Wednesday.
Yeah.
Kids. So it's kind of like it's an array, but I'm constantly like writing. Like I think if there's one thing that I do all day, every day, and that's write. Like I'm writing notes, I'm writing in my journal, I'm trying to write something. So it's kind of my thoughts are always on some kind of paper.
Yeah, I love that. And I love that you start your day with the power hour. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Even before you go walking. Is that right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah. That is really, I like to walk, but I do that before I get into the power hour or into working. That's pretty cool the way you do that. And yeah, I do agree with you. I'm a writer. I'm a journaler too. So I love that that's part and parcel of what you do for a living and what
Yes.
you do to help people as well. And I'm looking at your lovely setup. In fact, you inspired me today because I actually went and found this orchid that I had.
Oh,
Yeah, so I looked at your. So tell me more about your office setup.
oh my gosh. So I have a few spots in my house. My husband says that I pretty much take over the house. But I have a spot right here where I do all my recordings.
Yeah.
So all my YouTube recordings or any interviews, I record right here. So I don't move anything in this space. My regular office space where I do my work is, sometimes messy, sometimes not, depending on, if I clean it up or not. But I have that where, all my books are at and my notepads and all the files. So that's different from, the recording where it's kind of like this stays, I record a lot. And this is how we're going, don't touch the lights, don't touch anything.
Well, I think that's so wise. As an entrepreneur working from home, if you, and in today's world, you have to be, you have to be on YouTube. You have to be visible and having a specific space. And I love your background. I love the way you set it up. I think that's just really good advice for entrepreneurs because we do need a place, even if it's the kitchen table. To do the work, we've got to establish a place, and I love it how you've set that up for yourself. And then, gosh, 2 businesses. You must be really busy. We talk a lot about what we call revenue generating activities. Those are the activities that move the needle, right? That bring in the cash that we need. So how do you focus on those activities? Where do you invest your time to get the impact for your businesses?
Well, the one is it generates income on its own. So the service base is all about e-bikes and batteries. And so the way that me and my husband have it set up is he literally, while I'm walking and running and praying, and he's like online making posts, or he'll set up, a digital post where it goes out, but it's bringing in phone calls. Great. So it's literally like he does the activity, or our secretary, we have a secretary that's overseas. So I've had her, oh my gosh, for about 4 years now. So she does some of our online activities, but he generates certain activities every day, and he's really good at predicting when the traffic will pick up and when it goes down. He's like, oh, I didn't do any posts this week. We're not going to get that much traffic. And so, but we're kind of in that space where it's kind of like they're calling. And then for the other business, it's teaching people how to set foundations for businesses. So because I've been in business for a long time, it was kind of like one of my walks. I was praying and I was like, you need to start teaching people. And I was like, whoa, I don't want to teach anybody how to do business. So I said yes. And so I started a community, but I wrote a book based on all the foundational pieces that people oftentimes leave out. So it hasn't created a lot of income yet, but I see the vision. So with that, it's kind of like just making sure that I'm putting all the foundational pieces in place.
Yeah. And that's your Skool Group, right?
Yes, that is the Skool Group.
Because that's where we met, right?
Yes.
And in another Skool Group. And yes, and that Skool Group is devoted to your journaling and helping businesses with journaling. Is that correct?
Yes, that Skool Group is dedicated to the journaling, which is the mindset side of business, yet the actual business part, doing LLCs and EINs and the boring stuff all the gurus don't talk about until there's a problem. They're like, oh, my cream gave somebody a rash and then they sue you, but you don't have insurance because no one told you to get insurance. They just told you how to make money.
Yeah.
So it's the unsexy part, but it's so important.
Yeah.
And we just leave it on the table and just go straight for the money. And I'm like, no, you can't protect your money. So, yeah.
Well, that's a very valuable skill for you to be teaching, and so I'm sure a lot of people will be interested in that group, and we'll put the description to that below as well.
Absolutely.
Okay, talk to me a little bit about that. I mean, gosh, your life sounds so busy, but I'm sure you have some challenges. Okay.
Yes.
So talk to me a little bit about how you tackle obstacles and things while trying to keep your business moving forward. That's just entrepreneurs are always interested in how other people do that.
Like I said, I walk around with a notebook. I literally have two right here at my desk. I try and not panic. I think I've grown accustomed to reading individuals. Even online, you kind of get so many conversations where you can feel where a person can begin to shift. And so when I feel like a familiar situation or something that I've encountered before, I'm digressing. I take a pause. And if I can't take a pause, I go turn some music on, or I'll go dance or something to distract me so that I can come back in a better space. So I won't just send the email and I'm like, did you just say XYZ to me? Or say that to my face, because people get really, I would say, ornery online and even in person. But I have to be the responsible party because I'm responsible for my emotions. So in that, I'm oftentimes like, I'm doing a check. And if I get really frustrated, I go for a walk. Like that's my balance of eve and flow. Is if I'm upset and I'm like, I can't take it, I will just go and do a walk around the block.
You're so right. People in today's world feel like they can say whatever they like.
Yes.
Taking a breath or taking a walk, before you answer. And those are challenges because for entrepreneurs who work at home, because, it's we are the ones that have to come up with the answers, right? And
yes.
Yeah. So I think that's really wise. I feel that you're very wise in going out and taking a walk and coming back and starting again. I think there's that saying, never go to bed angry. You've got to kind of always feel, going to sleep, you need to feel that peace, and find a way to feel that peace, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So let me switch this up a little bit and tell me about, you seem pretty techie. So tell me a little bit about technology and what tools you use in your home-based business. What really works best for you?
I've probably tested 100+ tools over the years. I oftentimes don't want to look at my tool expenses. But I think my go-to in this season is Canva for sure. Yeah. I love Canva. But my editing tool, as much as everybody loves CapCut, I like CapCut, but I use Canva for my editing on my videos, but I also use a very simple app called VMake. And it is like, if I wanted to get jazzy and throw a quick reel out with some fancy stuff on it, it literally like edits it into it. It does the zoom in, zoom out. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. And then if I just want a simple cut out the ums and ahs, it gives me that as well. So I think if I had to pick one over the other, I would pick VMake for my video and kind of edits there. But if I had to go to my everyday kind of tool, it would be, Gmail and Canva. Like those are my simples. Now I could go down a lot of lists, but if I had to pick three, those would be the top three in my category.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting how, and that's why I asked the question, because every entrepreneur is different, and everybody finds one app or one thing that really works for them, and they stick to it. And I think that's really good, and understanding what really works for you. So that's why it's great to ask that question, because other people would think, well, maybe that's something I should try,
Yeah, it's like, don't try it if you like what you have. Like, because it becomes the kind of shiny object syndrome,
right?
Where you have a tool and then you don't maximize it, and it's like, well, the other tool does that too, and it's like, yeah, but you paid for that. You just didn't find it in the app yet. Like that's in the tool you already paid for. So I think, I think that, and if I had to give one suggestion, if you're starting out or you don't know, it's a website kind of CRM in one that I think is one of the best newbie tools would be, what is the name of that app? System.io.
What's it called?
Systems.io.
Okay, systems.io. Oh, I have heard of that. Yeah. Okay, great. Yeah.
It's a little bit of a learning curve, but nothing a YouTube channel can't like direct you on.
Yeah.
But it is the most cost effective. Like you get a free website. You get so many, I think you get up to 500 leads for free. So their free layer encompasses a lot. You get to put your own domain on it and everything, and you get the follow-up email. Like it's very robust, but it's also enough for someone if you're trying to cut a budget and you still want to be represented as a business owner, it is that tool. So I'll give that as the all-in-one tool.
Excellent. I'm sure a lot of people will be checking that out.
Yes.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about collaboration. I know you're really good at that. And so what partnerships or networking is part of your strategy, like to grow your journaling business? How are you promoting your Skool Group, and any specific ways that you collaborate with others?
Because, believe it or not, I'm an introvert. I'm very big on kind of testing the vibe of the room, where someone else would kind of like jump out and just be, hey, how you doing? What you doing? That's not necessarily how I operate. So when I join like a small group, I love to get to know the owner and see how they are, how they interact with someone that's a stranger. Like we don't know each other yet. And so what that does for me is that allows me to kind of put you in this Rolodex of, I call it the I know a person Rolodex. You have a problem and I say, oh, I know somebody that does that. And so when I'm approaching someone, I might not necessarily need your services, but I might run across someone that might. Yeah. And so I like to meet people on that kind of level where I'm not trying to sell you anything. My intentions are, hey, I think this might help you. Or if you might know somebody else that might need what I have, or somebody else. So I'm more along that line of, hey, how you doing? Da 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 da. And then I kind of build it genuinely, and either we connect and collaborate where we see where we can fit with each other, or I suggest someone to you, or vice versa. So I'm really I like to be the silent girl in the corner. If we're in a party, I'm the girl in the corner just observing.
I love that, but I think, that's the ultimate of networking, in my opinion. Is it's not about you, it's about who you can help, who you can hook up, who you can connect, who's going to the connections that people make, I think.
Yes.
And sounds like, I like your little list. I think it sounds like you've got that. That's great advice for entrepreneurs, because in the end, people remember you for that.
Yeah.
And that's your service that you're offering others, is how helping people connect with each other as well.
Yeah.
I love it. Now, do you have a goal setting process? How do you approach goal setting? Do you write down your goals? You're pretty much, I'm sure you're journal about it. Tell us how you work your goal practice with journaling. That would be really cool.
Oh my gosh. So I do the boring, what are my 3 tasks a day?
Yeah.
And then, what are my 3 tasks that I need to complete for the week? And as redundant that sounds, and it seems like it doesn't work, it really does. I promise you, most people that meet me, they're like, oh, should I journal? And I'm like, yes, let me tell you the reasons why.
Yes.
Because it just seems like it just can't help me. But what happens is the repetitiveness does.
Yeah.
It subconsciously puts these layers. When I write my 3 tasks done, I might not ever look at that paper again. But what happens is I looked at it, I wrote it out, and by the end of the day, somehow my brain capsulized that image and that thought of me writing it. And then I'm like, the next day, I'm like, oh, I actually did do that. And so you begin to realize that it actually does work. So that's like my biggest thing. If I'm setting a goal, for instance, this week, I did it latest week 44 of the year. I think it's week 44. So I'm in a group where he has us check in every week and then check in every day. And so this week I put, I'm finishing up some videos and something else. Oh, I'm supposed to fill out 5 grants this week. And so in the 3 for the week I'm looking at it, and today I'm doing the research for the grants. So I'm adding the little pieces to the big picture. So every time I do it, it's kind of like it allows me to empty my file drawer. Our brains file all this software and this storage, and it's not supposed to be. Our brains are never meant to hold all the things we think it can remember. It lies. You think the flower was pink, and then the picture says it was actually blue, and you're like, I could have sworn it was pink. And then you're like, no, your brain protects us. It's meant to protect us. So it just does it. It's so when I'm writing it down, it just allows me to take a literal snapshot of what's going on in my life. So
I love that. 3 goals a week and 3 tasks a day.
Yep.
And
it kicks off that endorphin. Like you get the spark of, oh my gosh, I actually did that. It's just a quick high.
What the power behind that for you is having someone to check in with. And I think, that having someone to check in with when you, they're asking, I run a coaching group, and I actually do that with them. And they, in our chat group,
okay,
what are the tasks? That was actually one of the questions I asked today. What are your tasks for the week? And have you planned them in? And have you planned them in your calendar? When are you doing the tasks? Yep. That is really great advice. I'm sure and it's simple and easy to remember, right? As well.
So simple, but we don't do it because we think it's too simple.
Exactly. Exactly. I like that. If you really think that's too simple, try it.
Yeah, try it.
Yeah. So how do you continue to grow as an entrepreneur? Do you take courses? You mentioned you were in a group. Do you have any book recommendations, or you have a special podcast you love to listen to?
Oh my gosh. I have a default of always trying to learn. Unfortunately, I have to kind of put caps on my learning seasons because I will learn. I'm a glutton at learning. I will take a class. I will go get a certificate, a degree. Like you put me in school, I'm learning something and I'm like all giddy. And I remember my husband telling me one day, he's like, "You're a glutton." And I was like, "What are you talking about? That's a sin." And he was like, "No." He's like, you know so much, but you don't take the time to tell others." And I was like, "What do you mean? I talk all the time." He said, "No, no, no. I know how smart you are." And I was like, "Oh my gosh." So that was one of the things when I began to write the book, this particular book, because I've been writing for a very long time, but this particular one, I was like, I want to make sure that when they pick this book up, that I left no stone unturned. All the mistakes, all the things that I went through, the little things of, I don't know how to fill out this bank form. Like, what do I put here? It says who's the owner, but am I the owner? Like, am I just the business owner? Like what? Like sometimes you just don't know. And so that was a reason why I knew that I wanted to do it. So learning, back to the original question. Yes, I learn all the time, but I'm learning to make sure that I'm expressing and I'm telling others and I'm actually making products that are of value of what I did consume. So yeah, I'm an avid learner, but I have to pause.
Any particular books or programs?
Books. I could name programs, but if I had to pick one book, it's a book that most people are like, why would she pick that? Because it it stuck with me over the years. I don't forget the first time somebody recommended it to me. It was back in, I believe, probably 2009 or 10. And it's called, I always say it backwards, but I want to make sure that I say it right. Wallace D. Wattles, The Science of Getting Rich.
Yes, I love that.
And it's so small, but it's so impactful.
Yeah.
And the reason that would be top of the line of books I would recommend would be because it sets a foundation of what a real business owner is.
Yeah. Yeah.
How to give, how to receive, how to know that everything on earth was here before you and you're just a tool that's kind of putting it together. The ideas aren't new. You just happen to be the vessel to express it in this season. So I love that book and the foundation. It's like just do the work that's assigned to you in this season. And I'm like, but I want to do this, and it's like, just stay focused.
It's a oldie but goodie that never, and it is. I read that book, and it is a marvelous book. I totally agree with you, and I hope a lot of entrepreneurs that are watching this will go read that book because I think it is one of the really good foundations for entrepreneurs who are in business. Yeah. So thank you for that. Okay, so now share with me, I know you've given us some great tips today. Is there any one piece of advice that you would give entrepreneurs in today's world that you'd love to share?
One piece of advice. Oddly enough, I wrote an email this morning about the one thing, if I had to start all over again. The reason I wrote it is because yesterday someone asked me a question and I was like, nope, if I had to do it all over again, this is why I would choose this. And I would say it's not a shortcut, but it saves time. And that's the one thing that we can't buy is time. And it would be get an advisor, a mentor, a coach, because when I started business 15 years ago, I was leaving the military and I had wrote my first book. And in that transition, I was already used to taking advice from higher ups. And so I knew if I had followed somebody else's instructions that had been there, done that, it would save me a little bit of heartache. You know, we're all unique to situations, but there's a percentage where it could cut me some time and heartache if I followed somebody else's advice. And so if you don't have one, if you feel like you know everything, if you feel like you just can't even afford one, right? I think you cannot not afford one, because the amount of time that a person that has been down your path before can save you, whether it's 1 year past where you're trying to go, 2 years, it doesn't matter. But I would pay to have someone help me get to the little roadblocks that I can't see. I don't even know they're coming. They've been there, done that. So if it was, that's the one piece of advice. Find somebody to follow and take their advice, even if you book a free call and ask a question, but ask for advice.
I love that. I think you've really hit it. It is one of the best pieces of advice to give any entrepreneur, even if you're been in business for a while. It doesn't matter if you're starting out or being in business for a while. That is really great. Lastly, I want you to tell me, before we get into you sharing more about, because I want to know the name of your book and everything.
Okay.
Tell me a little bit about your self-care. How do you take care of you? Because this is important for entrepreneurs, right? We have to take care of ourselves.
Yes. How I take care of myself is I work out. I work out because there's one thing. I had surgery a couple years ago, and what happened was I didn't like the way that my family was taking care of me. I don't say that too loud, but I was like, I am the mother of the house and y'all are not treating me like I want to be treated. But what that did to me was let me know that if I took care of my body, if I journaled, if I got sleep, if I worked out, that means I've done everything that's in my wheelhouse to take care of my body. That means I don't want to have to depend on someone else to take care of me, because I didn't do the things to take care of my body. Yeah. An accident or something can happen, granted, but because I ate, Doritos for the last 3 years and now, I'm sick, it's like, that was something I could have prevented. And so I'm very aware of what I eat, how much sleep I get. Do I get the sun? Do I do the things that make me smile? Yes, I watch TV and I call them binge shows. I do those things because it makes me smile. I give and don't expect anything back. So that's my form of self-care. Is not just the nails and the hair. It's the how am I literally taking care of the vessel that God gave me? Am I treating it as a gift, or am I just, using it as a wastebasket? So that is, it's my form. It's just being very aware.
Yeah, I so agree with you. It's so important and so important. Yeah. So great. Okay, so now I want you to share with us a little bit about your journaling business. Okay. How you use journaling as a tool to help others. Okay. Tell us the name of your book and any resources that people can connect with you, and also your Skool Group. We want to know about the Skool Group. And we'll put all of that in the description below. So tell us a little bit.
So like I said before, I've been writing for a while. So The book that I'm working on right now is called Start Like a CEO. So it's the first book of four, and it'll go on pre-sale for Black Friday. And it's about what I was saying, the foundational pieces. So starting like a CEO is making sure that you're fundable. Are you in a position to receive money that doesn't necessarily come straight from a client? Can you get money to expand? Is your paperwork all in alignment? Do you look like a big corporation if somebody Googled you? Does the number go to your phone, or does it go and it's listed publicly and someone can contact you if they want to book you on a podcast or if they want to do a contract with you? How do you look with your media presence? So that book is called Start Like a CEO. It is it'll be available for pre-order for Thanksgiving, Black Friday. And I'm super excited about it because it's a mix of journal questions, because I'm always inside my Skool Group. I'm always asking questions that most people don't even ask themselves. And so I'm like, yeah, you just took that money. Did you put it in your personal account or your business account? And they're like, I can't believe you just asked me that. And I'm like, but that's a fact. The IRS is going to ask you that.
Exactly.
So I think you need to get it straight before that happens. Yeah. So I like asking those questions that might seem personal, but in reality, we aren't two separate people. We are personally the person running the business. And if I can separate myself on paper, that means that I could sell the business. That means I could leave it for my children. That means that I can create a process that doesn't die when I die.
Right.
So that's the foundation of it. I have a community. It is free as of yesterday. It was either yesterday, I think I said it for free, because I wanted to open it up where individuals could take a 5-day journey to discovering if they're fundable. So it wasn't, it was paid at first, but I opened it up for the first 100 people to discover, am I even fundable? What does it look like? So I go through 5 days and I show you what to do. You don't have to take the actions, but you're aware. It's an awareness challenge. And most people are afraid to open up the bank account because that means I know now how much money I actually have in the bank. But you can't change anything that you don't know.
Yeah.
So that's the whole purpose of that, is bringing awareness to the things you want to change. And if you want to operate like a true CEO, a chief executive officer, not just in life, but in business, you have to be aware and take action.
Yeah.
So, and what was the third question?
Well, basically, you have your website, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And that, your website is what? IamAngelaPerry.com?
Yes, IamAngelaPerry.com. That is the absolute, that's my website where you can find all the things. You can come find the Like a CEO. We're kind of doing some transitions, but you can also find where I do my Jesus and journaling. So that's the other side. I call that where I pray a lot in my journal. So I taught people or I teach people on the personal level how to use a journal to get through struggle, a piece that I talk about sometimes. But at 19, I attempted to end my life. And so one of the things that the doctor recommended was I start journaling.
Wow.
So that's how I got into the atmosphere of even journaling on a regular basis and through seasons of trouble. And that's where it all started from, is
pretty powerful.
I needed to journal.
Yeah, it's pretty powerful. Well, we will put all of the descriptions of your website down below, your Skool community, where people can join your Skool community. And you have a YouTube channel as well, right?
Yeah, so if you want to binge and find journaling techniques or business advice, the channel is made for both.
Great. Excellent. Angela, this has just been lovely. I've just enjoyed so much. You have shared a lot of really very important information, especially for entrepreneurs who are starting, and like your book coming out, Start Like an Entrepreneur. I'll start like a CEO. That I love. So it's just been delightful to meet you. Thank you so much for being on the series today.
Yes. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it so much.
Is your goal setting process as simple as Angela's? My gosh, she keeps it to 3 tasks a day and 3 goals a week. It just sounds so simple, doesn't it? But as she says, it really works. So I couldn't agree more. Sometimes it's a simplicity is what keeps us consistent. So that's my first gem of wisdom that I got from this interview. The second one was about Angela's book recommendation, The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles. You know, this is a classic that has been out there for years. I've read the book, but I am going to read it again now because it lays out the mindset and action steps for success. So I'm also going to be adding this to my Read Along with Entrepreneurs list, which is another series that I have on the channel. And the third gem I got out of this interview was Angela's reminder that time is something you can't buy, right? Angela says the best way to save time is to get a mentor or a coach. And coming from her military background, she knows the value of learning from those with experience as one of the fastest paths to growth. So be sure to check below for the link to Angela's upcoming book, Start as a CEO, which is the first of 4 in her new series. It's going to be available for pre-sale on Black Friday, along with links to her website and her Skool Group. That's an interesting group to be part of if you're a journaler. And I'd love to know, are you a journaler? Do you write things down to clear your head or plan your business? So I want you to share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button. I'll see you on the next video.